So one share of Reliance Limited cost around 2400 rupees. If I talk about the share of Hindustan Unilever Limited, the same also cost around 2500 rupees. Now if I talk about the tech giants like TCS and Infosys, so Infosys share is priced at around 1700 and the TCS share is priced around, let's say, 3000. So if I want to invest in all these stocks and I have only 500 rupees, is it possible? Yes. This is the power of mutual funds. So hello dosto, my name is Shubham Keswani and welcome to our YouTube channel Invest Kar Befikar. In this video, what we are going to do is talk about the equity funds. Yes, we are going to talk about the equity funds. What are the benefits of equity funds? How we can invest in the equity funds? What are the different types of equity funds? All your questions will be answered in this video. So before actually beginning the video, let us first understand what an equity fund is all like. So as I started my video, I told you that the different companies shares are priced at different levels. But now I want to invest in all these companies. I have a very small amount and at the same time I want to invest in all these companies to diversify my portfolio. So what's the best way out is to invest in an equity mutual fund. So what do equity funds do? They invest in the shares of different companies with an objective of wealth creation and capital appreciation. Now, how is wealth created? How is capital appreciated? It is not something which can be done in 1 or 2 days. It takes 5 years, 10 years, and I say when you are investing in an equity mutual fund, your time horizon should be at least 15 years, right? You heard me right, at least 15 to 20 years should be your time horizon so that you are able to generate at least 40 to 50% CAGR growth rate. And these are the best ones for the long-term investment. As I told you, your investment horizon should be long-term. So for long-term investment, these are the best funds. Now there are two types of mutual funds or equity funds. One is active funds and one are passive funds. So if I talk about active or passive, this is not about the English concept that we used to study in class 5th or 6th grade. But active or passive by the meaning on how much time the person whom you are providing your funds allocates for investing in different companies. So if I talk about a portfolio manager, so if the portfolio manager is actively involved in managing your funds, that will be an active fund. But if he is not actively involved in selecting the right companies for you, but what he's doing is just copying the Nifty 50 or Sensex, which are the benchmark indexes, then it is considered to be a passive fund. So if I talk about a passive fund, as you can see, the child is sleeping peacefully. Same is the case with the mutual fund manager. The manager, what he has to do is just copy the fund, the index that he is replicating. So let's say you are investing in an index fund. So what I do, I generally invest in the Nifty 50 index fund. So what is that index fund all about? I'll just show you a chart why I invest in that and what happens. So Nifty 50 is what? It is a portfolio. It's a portfolio of investment in 50 companies. That's why it is titled Nifty 50. What it does, it invests in the different companies on the basis of their market capitalization. And the index performance shows, as you can see, in the last 20 years, from 2000 to 2020, the index has been on a constant growth path. So if anybody has invested in the year 2000 and he has maintained his investment till the year 2020, so you can see a small investment of even around in hundreds. Okay, this investment has reached around 18,000 rupees. Okay, so here you can see the returns are very manifold, but the best part about it is the person who had maintained the patience, only that person has been able to reap these returns. But the person who exited, let's say in 2005, or the person, let's say, who exited in the year 2010, he would have not been able to see the magic of compounding. That's why in the first video we discussed about the magic of compounding, so that you are able to understand what is the difference between investing or trading. In trading, what happens is you provide your money in a particular stock, then when you see the stock increase marginally, you take that money out and you sell off that stock. Then you are not able to reap the benefits of compounding. Benefits of compounding happen only when you are invested in the stock for a long period of time, and that is at least 15 to 20 years. So what happens in an index fund? As you know, the index always goes up. So when you invest in an index fund, you are very much sure that your portfolio will go up. It's just that you need to give it a time of around 15 to 20 years. But if I talk about an active fund, what happens in an active fund? So in an active fund, you give your money to your portfolio manager. The portfolio manager has to perform 2 to 3 activities. First of all, he will scan the market for the various opportunities available. Then he will research for the different companies that are available in the market. So let's say there are 1,000 companies in the market. But all 1,000 companies need not be shortlisted by him. Let's say he research on 500 companies. For 500 companies that he will research on, he will examine their performance, and on the basis of examination of performance, the person will shortlist around 100 stocks. Yes, it will look for 100 best stocks for which he will make an investment on your behalf. Now let's talk about the different types of equity funds on the basis of market capitalization. So before that, we first need to understand what is market capitalization all about. So market capitalization, if I talk about mathematically, it is the number of shares of a particular company multiplied by the market price of the company. So that gives us the amount of market capitalization for a particular company. On the basis of market capitalization, the stocks can be further classified as large cap stocks, mid cap stocks and small cap stocks. But who gives this definition? So let me tell you about that. So on the basis of market capitalization, if the stock that you are investing in has a market capitalization of greater than equal to 20,000 crore, yes, you heard me right, 20,000 crore market capitalization, then that stock will be considered to be a large cap stock. And if I talk about a mid-cap stock, what would be its market capitalization? So its market capitalization would be something greater than 5,000 but less than 20,000 crore. And if a stock is having a market capitalization of less than 5,000 crore, that will be termed as a small cap fund. Small cap stock. So the funds which invest in the large cap stocks are considered to be large cap funds. The funds which invest in the mid cap stocks are considered to be mid cap funds. And the funds which invest in the small cap stocks are considered to be small cap funds. Which funds do you think would be more risky? Give your answer in comments. Let me ask you. I am giving you 5 seconds. Just write in the comment section which fund do you think would be more risky? Large cap, mid cap or small cap? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now is the answer time. If I consider to be the most risky ones are the small cap funds, because people are not that invested in these funds. The number of investors in these funds are very less. So as the number of investors are very less, the number of shares in these companies are very less, it is very difficult to sell off these stocks in the market. These are considered to be very risky stocks. But if I talk about the large cap funds, or if I talk about the large cap stocks, these are the stocks which have been in the company, in the business. These are the companies which have been in the business for a very long period of time. If I talk about some of the companies which are large cap, considered to be large cap companies, so the first one, I am leaving it to you. I am telling you about the second one, third one and fourth one. The first one is a homework for you. Second one is the TCS, second largest company in India. Third one is HUL. And the fourth one is Infosys. Yes, Narayan Murthy's Infosys. The first one you have to tell to me, and I'm sure Mota Bhai will be very happy when he gets to know about the first one. Talking about the mid-cap funds, some of the famous companies are Crompton Greaves, which is into the electrical space. Second one is Escorts, which is into the transportation space. Third one is Relaxo. You must have heard about Relaxo footwears. And the fourth one is Polycab Wires, wires that don't catch fire. And if I talk about some of the small cap companies, for those who have been to Goa, they must be knowing about Deltin Casino. Yes, that company is known as Delta Corporation Limited, which is one of the small cap companies in India. Now talking about the sector funds, so there are different sectors which are available in the market. So the companies which are associated with a particular sector, the mutual funds invest in those companies. So if a mutual fund is financial sector mutual fund, so that financial sector mutual fund will invest in the NBFC companies, banking companies, in those companies that particular mutual fund will invest. Now if I talk about the other different sectors which are available in the market, these are healthcare sector, real estate sector and communication services sector. And the last fund which is an interesting one is known as the tax saving fund. इसको हम प्यार से बोलते हैं ELSS, that is equity linked saving scheme. So there are different features of this equity linked saving scheme. The lock-in period is 3 years. That is, once you invest in this fund, you can't take your money out for at least 3 years. The lock-in period is 3 years. Plus, the returns are very much better compared to other funds, because 80% of the money that you invest in these funds is blocked in equity. And as I told you, that equity is a growth engine. It generates a lot of good returns if you stay invested for a very long period of time. And another part is, which you won't like, is 10% long-term capital gain tax. That is, if you withdraw your funds from this mutual fund and you get a good long-term capital gain, 10% will be taken by the Indian government in the form of your tax payment. So if I talk about the performance of these funds, it has been able to generate 25% year-on-year return for its investors, which I feel is very good. considering the inflation rate of around 6 to 7% currently. So it has been able to generate very high returns over and above the inflation. So in the next video, what we'll do, so till now we have discussed about the debt funds and equity funds. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the hybrid funds, which contain the benefits and features of both the debt funds and equity funds. Looking forward to meet you in the next video, and let's make this journey of investing fun and amazing. Bye bye.